Well, Crystal Palace won, Manchester United won. The game has ended level at the Selhurst Park. A game of two halves. First half dominated by Manchester United. Didn't capitalize a lot, but really happened to go ahead and really score one goal, courtesy of Bruno Fernandes. Good interplay between Rashford, Ericsson with a cutback, and Bruno took his time. Weghorst drove close to three defenders into the 6 yards box area of the goal of Crystal Palace, and obviously Bruno Fernandes went ahead to really curl that ball into the back of the net. So that's how it really ended. Crystal Palace, second half, they had everything, they dominated it, they had the possession, and obviously they capitalized onto the free kick they got onto the edge of the 18 yards box area, and Olise cut that ball into the back of the net to make it 1-1 for a side of Manchester United and Crystal Palace. Welcome to United Matters channel. How are you guys? And where you're watching us from? I go by the names of Rock and David. Smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, channel, how are you? Subscribe, guys. Subscribe, because this is what we do onto this channel. We always bring you your latest news and information as far as this news is concerned. So United has really gone ahead to drop points ever since the World Cup started in the Premier League and all other tournaments. You see, this is where you get to know that it's not all rosy. It all doesn't go in as you really anticipate it to go, because I really thought that we were going to win this game of football, and by the time we went in leading one goal in the first half, I really thought that, all right, we are going to go ahead and really capitalize on and really score a second one. But the second half, the game plan really changed. I don't know why. Crystal Palace increased the intensity. We couldn't go past them. We couldn't put a couple of touches together. Yet in the first half, we used to pass that ball very well and obviously did lots of things. At the end of it all, Casemiro gets a yellow card, 50th yellow card. Obviously, he is not going to take part into the game of Arsenal at Emirates on Sunday. That is another huge blow that we must go ahead and really talk about, because where are we going to be without Casemiro? I know people will come out and say Scott McTominay and Ericsson were playing very well before Casemiro came in through. But look how far Casemiro has drove us to. That's it. Look how far he has really drove us to that level. So I believe it's a very huge blow for United. Even if you are an Arsenal fan outside there, you are rejoicing, because you know what it means when United is having Casemiro in there for you. But we've seen on several occasions players like Scott McTominay can come in through and obviously have a game of their life. You get? But you are not as sure as you're supposed to be when Casemiro is in there for you. So that is it for United. 1-1. We are now having 39 points, level with Man City. Played one more game than Man City. Played one more game than Arsenal. And Arsenal is 8 points clear ahead of Manchester United. Meaning that if at all we lose to Arsenal, we will be 11 points behind Arsenal, and Arsenal will be having a game in hand. So today this has been a painful loss to me. Have a match the draws coming through. I believe this is not the result we deserved. We deserved 3 points today. We deserved 3 points today, because second half game management was not something that we did better. I don't know why, but the game slipped out of our hands in the second half, and I think Patrick Vieira got to know that if at all he keeps this game at 1-0, obviously a chance would come for them to score, and it never came out in an open play, but it came from a set piece, and they really went ahead to get a source of goal that they never usually get. Usually they score from set pieces, but they deliver them into the 18 yards box area, and obviously they nod them to the back of the net. But this time round, they had to take a direct free kick through Olise to really level with United. And you'd look at players like Marcus Rashford and ask yourself, what was wrong with him today? Very much contribution into the first goal, plays into Ericsson. Ericsson does a cutback, it finds Bruno, and Bruno curls that ball at the back of the net in the 43rd minute to give United the lead. Obviously, that was fine. It looked good. It looked really nice as for United. But you ask yourself, why is Rashford trying to be selfish? The only time he decided not to be selfish, we scored. Rashford got on the ball close to 3 times when he was supposed to go ahead and release his fellow players. He couldn't. The same applies to Anthony. So selfishness today costed us this game. In the first half, if at all you're not selfish, we would have gone ahead to really score 2 goals. Because there are moments when Anton was supposed to release Rashford and he didn't. There are moments when Rashford got the ball and he wanted to go past 3-4 players. And I ask myself, why is Rashford acting like a naive player? Even in the second half, the same thing happened. We get the ball in good positions. Rashford was supposed to go all out and really make out a pass to his fellow player to see to it that we score a goal. Rashford goes in to try to go past 3 defenders. Who does it? Who does it in the world? So I believe we really lack certain concentration, all game concentration, because if you are really concentrated like Casemiro and Eriksen, you really believe that anytime a goal is going to come in through. If you're having a player playing ahead of you like Bruno Fernandes, however much he scored the goal today, I believe he was wasteful, going in for flicks. You see, when I'm on Rokan Media Football, I always tell people that I rate Odegaard ahead of Bruno. Do you know why? Because Odegaard does what a conductor is supposed to be doing. You are supposed to conduct that game. You are supposed to dictate the pace of that game. And Bruno today was just not getting that ball. You need to get hold of that ball and obviously do the needful. I reached an extent and said, why is Eriksen getting off the field of play? Because he is the magnet to that. He's like a magnet to the ball. Each and every time the ball is in there for you, he gets it, passes it around, and obviously we're into the better position of really winning the game and really winning possession. Eriksen gets out the field of play, things change. Things change because Erik ten Hag goes for Scott McTominay to play as a cam, a substitute I've never really accepted at Manchester United. To me, I believe it's better. You get Scott McTominay, plays in the double pivot with Casemiro, then Eriksen plays ahead of them. But every time Scott McTominay is brought on the field of play and you are having Casemiro and Eriksen on the field of play, Ten Hag tells Scott McTominay to play ahead of them. I don't really recon that. I don't really rubber stamp that. I don't really accept that because Scott McTominay is nowhere near a central attack midfielder. With those Crystal Palace players playing like that, I believe he was supposed to play in a double pivot with Casemiro. Then you let Eriksen play ahead of them because I'm 100% sure that Casemiro could get that ball from the back four and pass it with quality to find Eriksen, and Eriksen find those spaces. So I believe the shape of the team changed when we made those substitutions of Anthony, because Anthony was like a threat. These people, other players of Crystal Palace, we are looking a lot at him. They are not trying to go ahead and really make those high-line plays because they knew that we are having Rashford on the left and Anthony onto the right. Even when Weghorst was taken off, a game changed because Weghorst was really keeping the defense of Crystal Palace on tenterhooks. That's it. This time round, the plan of Erik ten Hag never really worked because it just invited more pressure to the team of Manchester United. With Weghorst leading the line, Crystal Palace really had loads of things to worry about. That's why you saw to it that even the first goal that we scored, let me try to show you something here. The first goal we score, do you know why Bruno gets all that space? Do you know why Bruno gets all this space? All these defenders you see here, all these, they are following Weghorst, and Weghorst drives them into the goal mouth. Bruno gets that cut back from Eriksen, and he was like taking a penalty, simply like that. So a game plan changed like that. And I believe this is where the injuries of Antoine Martial really cost us in the game like this. Donny van de Beek, they cost us because you needed someone who is a magnet on the ball to see to it that he really gets you onto that ball. That's it. But look at that. In the first half, it was possible because of Weghorst's force, and Weghorst was really playing in very well. He used to drop inside very well. He has that one touch with him. He's tall. He got one header, cross brought in by Luke Shaw in the first half and he headed it, though it never really went on target. But he played very well. He did the job why he was brought on the field of play. So for Weghorst, when he was taken off and Anthony, we invited pressure. That's it. Because Rashford is not good at doing the hold-up play. You know that very well. He's only good at that ball over the top, run at defenders when there is a lot of space in front of him. That's when he's good. So that is what affected us today. So I believe Ten Hag is very predictable according to me in most times, because you know what he's going to do next. That's it. You know what he's going to do next, especially as far as these are concerned. But to me, I feel we've done our job. We've played our part. The team has played its part. Drawing at Selhurst Park is not a result that our enemies are going to go ahead and really talk about a lot. However much Spurs came here and beat them by 4-0. Trust me, it is not a result that it was all written over that game of football. The result doesn't reflect what was on the field of play. So United has gone ahead to draw in the last 5. I think this was the 5th game on, so 5 games. We've gotten 13 points. Not bad for me. Not bad for me. So let's see our next chapter of Arsenal. I don't want to see anyone blaming the manager, doing blah, 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 blah. Let's accept that he has come that way. A 1-1 draw for United away at Selhurst Park. And obviously they scored 3 free kick. A free kick that would have said David De Gea would have done more. That's it. For not allowing Freddie to be into that wall, body wall. Very short. You put a player that is short in the wall, what happens? A brilliant player will get that ball and pass it where that short player is, because even if that short player jumps, he won't be able to really stop that ball from going to your net. So those are things that I really saw in this game that really gave us a lot of unseriousness, and we lacked concentration. But I believe any day we have to go ahead and do the needful, because we've won against City, points, we've drawn at Selhurst Park. Let's see what's going to come back on Sunday, because the result on Sunday will impact a lot onto what we've gone through today. That's it. The result on Sunday will come out and really impact on what we've gone through today. But give Crystal Palace credit also. Second half, they came up and they really went for the game. You get? They had lost 3 games, all of them at home. They had to make a statement. United comes in through, we get chances, we don't put them to bed. Guess what happens? They get a free kick into the back of the net. So, I believe it was a game of 2 halves. As I've told you at the beginning, game of 2 halves, United finding itself into a losing position. But obviously, Aaron Bissaka came in through and really saved the day. But Bruno Fernandes went in for a calling effort in the 32nd minute. Then Anthony slid into that and obviously did the needful. Let me talk about a little bit of Anthony. I believe Anthony doesn't want to face the players. Even when he was facing one of the weakest Crystal Palace players on the field of play, he couldn't take the ball to him. I think he should go ahead and really start doing more and taking that ball to the opponents, because we need to reduce these numbers. The more you're playing a team like Crystal Palace and you are not having numbers ahead of you, and you're not reducing the numbers of defenders, then they'll make it hard for you to really get a result or get goals. So we need players that can really get these players into dangerous positions by really taking them off and sitting them down. Something that Anthony is not doing enough. Ball protection, 100%, he does it very well. He rarely puts a foot wrong. That's it. But when he gets that ball, we want to see him be like a Saka, like a Riyad Mahrez, like even this guy that scored a goal against United, Olise. Olise is confident, gets that ball and takes off players. You get? So that's why, to me, I'm adamant about my statement that I usually make that Amad Diallo, when he comes in from what we call the championship and comes at Manchester United, he's going to go ahead and retake over this position because for him, he commits himself. This game reached an extent when it required a player of a different caliber of talent to really say, this is the game and I'm going to win it. Let me get this ball, commit myself, take down these players, and obviously create chances for the club of Manchester United. But obviously, Anthony, a player that we think he has a swift left foot, he's not trying to do this. That's it. That's what I'm worried, by the way. I'm starting to get worried about him. I've been always defending him, but I'm worried because we are into the 19th game of the season and he's not really trying to do those takeoffs and take-ons. You get? Look at Alejandro Garnacho. For him, he gets the ball, he commits himself, but Anthony is not committing himself, and I don't know when it's really going to go ahead and really grow into his DNA that it's time for him to go ahead and redo the needful. Now, in the 72nd minute, a penalty call was really made for United, and VAR checked it, and they said no penalty, and Scott McTominay just fell down. Now, this is where I ask myself, when is a penalty a penalty? Trust me, with all fairness, in the game of City, we got lucky for the first goal that equalized the game of football. But even here, I ask myself, how much should a contact be for United or for a player to be given a penalty? Because the fact is, Scott McTominay went for the ball, and how do you say that the contact was not all that much enough to put or to call a penalty for Manchester United? I understand VAR did it, but wasn't it a penalty, guys? Wasn't it a penalty? To me, it looked like Scott McTominay was brought down, but obviously the referee said, let the VAR get me the verdict, and the verdict came out and said no penalty for team known as Manchester United. So I believe we needed to do better, especially going forward in the second half, because we need to be having a game plan to kill off. And so I'm waiting for Erik Ten Hag to see what is going to go ahead and really talk about this game of football as it really stands, because I'm even having less of things to talk about this game of football, because you find yourself in a situation, if I tell you how to take a lot, you are going to blame your players. That's it. So thank you guys for watching, comment and share. We've drawn, and now as it stands, United is placed third. And we've played the same games with Newcastle now. Newcastle has played 19 games. United has played 19 games, and we are really at 39 points. Newcastle is at 38. So it shows you how much we've gone ahead to lift ourselves to that level, and the battle is not yet over. The battle is not yet over, because these results you are getting keep pulling teams like Liverpool, Chelsea, Tottenham Hotspur back into the calculation. That's it. The permutations, they are now back because of this draw. But I believe you are going to get back to the winning run. We are going to get back to the winning run. I know, I trust the manager we are having, and I believe we'll get back to the levels they're supposed to be on. Now I'm having the stats on your screen. I think, have I placed them there? All right, they are there. So 10 shots, Crystal Palace. United had 15. Crystal Palace had half of their shots on target. Those are 5. And United had only 4. Remember, we had 15 shots and 4 only went on target. That means we are less by some 8, some 3, meaning that we would have gone ahead to do better in the second half by really being concentrated enough onto the game of football. But I believe, and luck was not on our side. On any day, that is a penalty for Scott McTominay. Then that header that Casemiro miss in the 93rd minute, that corner that was delivered by Bruno Fernandes, that miss by Casemiro, on any day it goes in. So there are games of football you see to it that luck is not written to your side. And obviously today luck was on our side, because we had all chances to win this game of football, but obviously we failed to double the lead. Now, 39% ball possession by Crystal Palace, 61 ball possession by Manchester United, 393 passes completed by Crystal Palace. United completed 617, meaning that we average close to 300 passes per half. That is not bad. 73% passing accuracy by Crystal Palace, 81% passing accuracy by Manchester United, 9 fouls by Crystal Palace, 10 fouls by Manchester United, 1 yellow card to Crystal Palace, and obviously 2 to Manchester United. Obviously, the first one went to Lisandro Martinez, and the second one to Casemiro, that has really put him out of the game against Arsenal on Sunday. Then 3 corners for Crystal Palace and 3 corners for Manchester United. Almost the game looked like level as far as stats, apart from what we call the possession and passes put together, but the rest of the things almost look the same. Shots on target, Crystal Palace had 5, United had 4. So it showed you that the game was all there to win, but we never really went ahead to win the game of football. Now, let's go to the table. Arsenal 18 games played, they're having 47 points. Man City 18 games played, they're having 39 points. United are having 19. That's it. And 39 points collected in 19 games. That's not bad according to us, because we are left with now 19 games. Now, how are you going to do in the 19 games? I think we're going to perform better because we are really having a good squad. Sancho is returning and other players are really coming in through. So I believe we are going to be performing better according to me. Newcastle, 19 games, 38 points. Tottenham Hotspur, 19 games, 33 points. So we are playing Arsenal next. And after playing 19 games, we are how many points ahead of Tottenham Hotspur? We are 6 points ahead of Tottenham Hotspur. Not bad, because teams like Man City have to play, Arsenal and Man City have to play one another, meaning that those are 2 games they're supposed to play one another. Remember, for us, we've played City twice and it's done. And the advantage we're having is that Arsenal, Newcastle, Tottenham, all those have to play City. And the first game of City and Tottenham is going to be played tomorrow. That is Thursday. Then later, we are going to find ourselves in a situation of Tottenham playing a second game against City, meaning that if City collects 6 points against Tottenham, Tottenham will be really down, meaning that for United, we'll be really trying to go ahead and really win our games. Even Arsenal has 2 games against City. That is why I'm telling you that the title race is not yet over, because you don't know how Arsenal is going to perform in the next games. Injuries are like injuries at Arsenal, because even El Nini has gone ahead to get a knee injury. So it's not yet done. It's not yet done, and don't give up. Things are really going to get better. A draw is not bad for me as a United fan, as far as I know how hard games have been hard for us to go ahead and really pick from a stadium known as Selhurst Park down in London. So we are returning to London on Sunday. The first visit to London, we've gotten a draw. I pray we get a result that is really positive when you're playing Arsenal. Even if we get a draw against Arsenal, it's okay for me. It's okay for me because Arsenal wouldn't have gone ahead to make that huge stride between us and them. So let me go into your comments. Asimo Hillary, football is football. I'm hurt. For me, I'm not hurt because this is a marathon. This is a marathon. If it was a tournament that we've been knocked out, I would have been hurt because I have no other chance to really try and give it a go. But this time round, we have very many games to go. If at all the players really believe that we should be in the title race, a game of Arsenal is there for us to win. So why don't we go out and really get that game of football done and get it out of our way? So I believe, I'm not hard for me because I believe we can do better. Not so? Prince Alex, brother, nobody to blame. I felt like I shouldn't blame nobody in this game, but there are players that I feel like I should blame, like Marcus Rashford. I think he was too selfish. You see, if we never won the game of City, everyone would have gone ahead to blame Rashford for the 2 chances got in the first half, where he would have really done a cutback to Anton Martial, and Martial really went in for an empty net. But because we won the game of football, no one gave that an eye. I think it was only me in my match reaction who came out and said Rashford was selfish. He was selfish. But because I felt like we had won, let's wait and see. But this is really turning into a behavior for Marcus Rashford. He feels like even if there are 3 players, he can go past them. Something I don't believe in it. Sometimes you have to go for an easy pass and maybe call for a return pass and obviously score. You get? So to me, I believe Rashford would have done better. But Weghorst played really very, very well and has shown us why Ten Hag really went for him into this January transfer window. Prince Alex, let us take it like that. Yeah, let's take it like that, because at the end of the game, we would have even lost if it's not Aaron Wan-Bissaka who slides into that run of Winfred Zaha in our box. Zaha would have finished us like he did in the season of 2020-2021 at Old Trafford, because I think he scored a brace against us. Then I'm having Oleyede Joshua. Will Casemiro miss the Arsenal match with the yellow card? Obviously, yes. He's out of the Arsenal game. That means Scott McTominay is going to come in through, and Eriksson and maybe Freddie to be played into that game of football, especially in the midfield. But I believe we played with Eriksson and Scott McTominay at Old Trafford, and we got a result. But it's really going to be a different game of football altogether. But let's wait and see what's going to happen. Now I'm having to Himbise Titus. Casemiro will miss Arsenal match. Yes. Then it was going to look better if we had won this match. Obviously, it would have looked better if I totally won this match of football. But all in all, every day is not a Sunday. Every day is not a Sunday. We've been happy ever since the World Cup came in through and came to an end. A draw is not a bad result to me. It's not a bad result, because this is a marathon that very many other teams are supposed to go at Selhurst Park and play there. So you never know what result is going to happen from that side. Then we are having Hulk Hogan. Arsenal did juju on United today. There is no juju. There is no juju, because that was an obviously yellow card for Casemiro, and obviously the free kick was really superb, courtesy of David De Gea putting a short Freddy into the human wall. That was really uncalled for. Then Barrister David, no one should be blamed. Some people should be blamed, and they should take the blame, because if you don't blame them, then you won't be doing what we call an objective analysis. If you're doing an objective analysis, you really go even ahead and we talk about Erik ten Hag, because I've talked about Erik ten Hag and said, you don't take off Weghorst in this game. You don't, because he was keeping all those players at their center line and not adding themselves to the attack. Take off Weghorst with his press, and Rashford can't press. You've seen him, he can't press, because Weghorst was the field of play and the game was all in our hands. But when he was taken off, things changed. It's the same thing happened in the game of City. Take off Anton Martial, City dominates us in the second half for the first 15 minutes and obviously get that goal. Almost the same story. The only difference is that this time round, we've not gone ahead to score a winner. But if at all we had scored the winner, it would have been the same language we spoken at Old Trafford against City. Then Benon Nuwagira, Rashford is selfish. Yeah, he's selfish, and I think he should improve onto that, because when you look at the way Martial and Weghorst lead the line, they are trying to involve him in play, and when he gets that ball, I would love to see him involve them into play. That's it. Then Adepare Oyame, one standing. We have outstanding, one outstanding. I've not gotten you. Then Godwin is telling me that our coach is sometimes a failure. What actually happened to a player like Pelestri? Why not slow a player? Why not throw a player like McTominay and Elanga and Maguire to leave this club so he can get a good striker? The striker was there, Weghorst was there, but he doesn't have money. He would have gone ahead to really bring in other players, but he doesn't have money. That's it. He doesn't have money. So even the player we bought on Weghorst, we brought him on loan. So what do you want the manager to do? His hands are tied. He has nothing to do, because the board told him that they don't have money. Joel Glazer told him, we don't have money to bring in Gapco. We don't have money to bring in a right back. So he's trying to figure out results with what he's having. So that's why I really feel pity for Erik ten Hag. Fab Emma, it was Erik ten Hag's blame not to substitute Casemiro, which is a big blow for us. I don't believe in crossing a bridge before I reach it. So even if Casemiro gets a yellow card, if we are to win on Sunday, we are going to win. If we are not going to win on Sunday, we are not going to win, because even if Casemiro was there, we've been beaten in games when Casemiro is there. Haven't we been beaten? Aston Villa beat us by 3-1 when Casemiro was there. So it's not Erik Ten Hag's blame to take off Casemiro or leave him on. No reason for that. A draw is not bad, guy. By the way, you guys, I don't know why you guys are not seeing the positivity into these results, because last season we came here, we were beaten by, was it 1-0? Ralf Rangnick's last game. Now we've collected a point. It shows you that we are really gathering in points that we didn't pick up last season. And for Erik Ten Hag, he's doing a job for the 6th month here at Old Trafford. So don't really take a lot to him, because he's doing his job and it's a hard job to do, because we were not into a run like this before 10 years back. Then Gonai Godwin, he's so much believe in Rashford. Rashford is good, but he's selfish. He needs to really improve on his unselfishness. Then Prince Alex, Rashford is selfish. Mumbere Joshua, if you really need to win the trophy, these are the games you must win. I understand you're right, Mumbere Joshua, but I believe even City last season never won every game. They lost certain games, they drew certain games, but they won the trophy. I believe last season Crystal Palace drew at the home of City. Not so? So you are not supposed to win every game to win a trophy. That's it. You just have to go ahead and really win the majority of your games. When you win them, then you put yourself into a situation of winning the trophy. Then I'm having Prince Alex. Yes, it was a penalty. I believe luck was not our side, by the way, because on a good day, that is a penalty. Like you saw when you're playing Man City. On a bad day, the referee says it's an offside. On a good day, he says it's not an offside. You get? So let's take it. Let's take the result. Let's take it. Then Elijah, Ten Hag out. Oh my God. How do you say Ten Hag out? Shame upon you. Unana, you can't say that. Barrister David, for me, we don't need Anthony. We need him, but he needs to go ahead and really up his game. That's it. He needs to up his game. Then Muhammad Kelly, the coach, is the problem today. I believe there are very many problems, but the manager is not who told Rashford to be selfish and Bruno Fernandes to misplace passes. That's it. Adebare Opeyemi, we have one outstanding. All right. Then Godwin, why is he not using Pelestri? Pelestri was the bench today. That is a plus. But I believe the physicality part of it is really the problem for Pelestri. He needs to really gym up a lot. Then Rashford made us lose points. He was really selfish. That's it. Then Bashir Sendagire, but Anthony needs to improve. Obviously, the rest of the things is doing okay. Ball protection, receiving the ball and running. But he needs to start sitting down players. He needs to start doing take-ons and going past players to get successful dribbles and not really getting past players. That is not helpful to us. Then Alpha Bangura, kudos to us, the Gunners. All right, I know Arsenal fans are really happy, but you should celebrate after the Sunday game, because even if you celebrate a draw here and you lose to Manchester United on Sunday, then your celebrations won't be really meaningful. Then ZF, why need to play defensive second half? If second half didn't play defensive, maybe we win. I believe it was Crystal Palace that really put in a second gear. That's it. They put in another gear that really made our game hard. Victor Lubega, we needed these 3 points, honestly. Yes, we needed them, but we've not gotten them. We've just gotten 1 and lost 2. Amidst what, we move on. No matter what, we proceed. Then Emmanuel, we are not supposed to draw. A game of football is all about 3 results: a draw, a loss, and a win. So if you get a draw at Selhurst Park, not an easy ground to go at, not a bad result, though I expected a win. Then Mumbere Josia, our competitors like Arsenal really winning against such teams. Weghorst was outstanding. We have been winning on Casemiro's brilliancy. Now he's out of the game. We've not been winning out of Casemiro's brilliancy. It was really a team game. That's it. It was really a team game, because Casemiro is good, but even the team is really turning into one. That's it. Titus, let's pray Freddy take Casemiro role on Sunday match. I believe it's going to be Scott McTominay, and Eriksson to play that midfield. That's it. That's it, with Bruno ahead of them, and Anthony doing the needful. But all we should pray for is Weghorst to be there and Anthony Martial to be there, because if at all you're having those two, you'll know that if at all the take of Anthony Martial, Weghorst is going to come in through. But today you saw it. Weghorst taken off, does the hold up play very well. Take him off, put Rashford in that position. Results are really bad. So guys, thank you very much for watching in through. Rokan David is my name. United slips in the third position again. We missed out on going into the second position, but obviously I know what is yours is always ours. If at all we are going to finish second or win the trophy this season, then it's